From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, February 8th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios on the ones and twos, our illustrious engineer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
Over there, without a mic, manning the video feed, Clark Flippo.
He said, hey.
Hey. On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
And down the road, well, no, not really.
No.
From Athens, Georgia today,
Yes.
author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents. Happy greetings from Athens, Georgia.
How are things in Athens?
Yeah,
it's
give me
just
the
the
lowdown.
best. The Bulldog Nation, man. I just love it so much.
Did you get a letter in the mail saying that you didn't finish one credit?
I wish.
You had to go
I wish
back.
they'd let me come
Is this,
back.
is this a Billy Madison situation?
No, you know what's cool is I got to come and teach at the campus ministry where I was a student the whole time I was here. And I've never taught there before. It was amazing.
That's like working at the Chick-fil-A that you always went to growing up.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's really special. Y'all, there's like 1,100 college students that go every Wednesday night.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is
A lot.
It is a Bible Belt.
That's a healthy amount.
I think that's a lot of people. Y'all are all kind of very calm about it. I think that's a lot of people. That was not the case when I was at school
1,100
here.
Georgia students at the church service and 1,050 at the after-service keg party.
We're never going to have fun talking Georgia, Florida stuff together, so we can just let it be. It's been
what was
awesome.
the-
I love being here. It is such a treat to be back 20 years after I started school here.
Annie, what's your biggest? I asked this in my interviews sometimes.
Okay.
What was the biggest wow, I can't believe I've been invited to be a part of this moment. Like the most surreal, like I never would have thought I would be invited to join this thing.
Can I be as someone's plus one?
Yes, sure.
I think
You
that's
don't
even
mean
better.
something that I'm
yeah.
invited for my skill.
Yeah.
I'm just get to be in a room.
Yeah.
Let's hear
I
it.
was the plus one. It's for my friend to the Grammys in 2009. And that by
Nice.
far, I mean,
Who was the friend?
Hillary Scott from Lady Antebellum.
Oh.
It was before she was before the people in the band were married. So they all brought friends.
Yeah.
And well, one of the guys was married, but the other guy brought a friend and Hillary brought a friend, me. And it was, I mean, you just get to go everywhere. You get to go in the like tent with all the free stuff where you just grab jeans and jewelry and perfume and shoes. And
the friends do or the famous people do?
I got to.
You did.
I
Yeah.
didn't know there was some sort of bazaar at
Oh,
the Grammys
yeah,
where
but
you gotta go.
but
But
it's a
this
swag
sounds-
tent.
It's a
It's
swag
a swag
tent.
tent. Yeah, it's a swag tent.
They have a smaller version at Lollapalooza, Tyler, and
Oh, yeah,
Jesse
that's
and I
true.
have gotten passes over the years to the artist swag room where we got into.
Yeah.
And we got some swag.
I always feel weird, though. I always feel weird with swag. Like, you know, a lot of times, like, I'll get something there and I really like it, but I feel, I don't know why, but I end up usually giving it away or something. I just feel weird, like having something nice that I didn't pay for, that I did nothing to earn, that I was just present. And
Jesse,
you know,
what do you feel about wedding registries or baby registries?
No. Listen, if you want to, okay. You know what my take is?
Oh, tell me.
Okay, big. It's a big wedding. It's a whole industry, man. Like, these sociopaths at Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah.
They want to
Oh
get.
my gosh. You went straight for a store. Wow. Wow. Jess.
Okay,
Get 'em.
because
Go.
listen. I
This
got
problem has a name.
Yeah, serious.
Bed Bath and Beyond wouldn't exist. Okay, here's the thing. I'm telling you, go to Bed Bath and Beyond any like evening. It could be during the week, not just on the weekend.
That
during
sounds like
wedding
a great
season.
evening.
During wedding
Yeah.
season, and you see these stressed out couples that aren't even married yet getting in fights over which duvet cover they're going to buy while they're both armed with those little laser guns.
Not buy. Ask for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're
Used,
sewing.
yeah.
and here's my theory. Like, they're sowing seeds of discontent early on in marriages, hoping that these people one day be remarried and have to re-register because they're undoing marriage counseling at Bed Bath and Beyond. You know, like the guys like, this wastebasket here looks perfectly fine, and the wife's like, no, we registered for like a $50 one at Pottery Barn. Okay, look, you're causing strife in couples right away. I want to solve all of this. Cash and Bitcoin only. Cryptocurrency.
So you're okay if people hand you cash, but not products?
Yes, cash is fine.
That is imbalanced. That is an imbalanced take on life, which could be the tagline of how you handle just about every opinion.
Listen, I don't like any gift giving.
A lot of cultures do that though, because here's $20,000 to like help you get your home and start your life and all these things.
Who's got friends that are giving you $20,000 to get married?
I know lots of people like Annie. You are from the South, okay, and 100%. as am I. Above the Mason-Dixon, they do weddings differently. I was married in New York, and it was just a cash grab.
A cash party?
Oh, it was a cash party. Like people, I mean, that's how it operates up there. I'm not just I'm for every exchange, just moving to cash.
Annie, haven't you seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Yes,
about 1950s New York.
Yes.
The dad, at the bar mitzvah for the kid, like $20,000 of cash came in, and the dad ended up taking it, using it for other things. And when he was a full grown adult, he gave him the money back. The dad gave him the money back. I mean, like a lot of cultures like give money at these big life events.
I've been at weddings where we did one in college where you pinned money on the bride and the groom to dance with them. Have y'all seen that before?
Yeah, the dollar dance.
That's a weird.
Dollar dance. Yeah. It's a little weird.
Listen, I'm for nixing gift giving in general. Like if you're having an office party and there's just give them cash. Like,
no.
Andy, what would mean more to you? What would you, if someone were to say right now, here's a shirt that I am 90% sure will not only you'll like, but two will fit you right. Like I second guess my shirt purchases, much less just having a stranger buy them for me.
Well, no, hang on. You're not buying shirts for people. That's ridiculous. Why are you buying them clothes? Is this a Christmas party?
You never given a shirt as a present? I'm just saying, give me the money and I'll buy my own shirt.
Jesse's gonna be so fun when he's like 80.
Today, a friend sent me a picture of her sister's boyfriend. It was conspiring with her about the Valentine's present that the boyfriend was going to get the sister, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to make this large decoration.
Wait, should you say this on the show?
Yeah. This large decoration for her apartment, right? This large thing. Very unique styling.
Can I stop you? I'm going to let you continue, but I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
In the hierarchy of gifts, okay, clothing, it goes cash at the top. Yeah. Gift card just under cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some sort of electronic gadget just under that. All the way down here is clothes, and all the way below that is anything handmade.
That's what I'm saying. So my reply was, "Wow,
I hate
that's
gift
a
cards.
bold move to make somebody furniture because she has no option. She has no option. She has to like it and put it on her wall, even if she hates it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only till they break up, and then she can throw it away or burn it or whatever.
That's true.
Man, somebody gave us a painting they'd made at our wedding. That was their big gift for us.
That's the difference. If you give a married couple a gift like that, there is some pressure. Or if you're married and you give Valentine's gift like that, there is pressure. You live together. If it's a boyfriend, it's like, it'll be here until
what you're basically saying is never invite me over. Otherwise, I'll have to look around and see where you put my painting. The answer is the basement, but that's
the answer is the basement.
You know what? That couple would have liked a lot more than some amateur painting. A tally of how much he spent on the acrylics and the canvas and whatever his time is worth. They just write him a check because the couple would have got. You know what? They can go buy whatever piece of wall art they want.
I mean, I don't like people when they. I don't like people. I don't like when people give me gift cards.
Gift cards are a little flawless. Yeah.
Oh, hook me up. Send me gift cards, cash. If you're out there, if you're listening, go ahead, go for it. I welcome it. Annie doesn't want it. I do.
Major corporations are sending Chandler gift cards. I mean, it's like it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's very true. Still
Exactly. By the way, speaking of which, I don't think this got any play on the pod. Chili's at Christmas time reached out to him again and sent him a dope bomber jacket.
Oh yeah,
that says
I to mention that.
That says like skillet queso on the back in cool script.
And it's like one of those varsity jackets, kind of, but it's like 90s like satin finish, like black.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait, Chandler, did you not show me this when I was in?
No, I
like
forgot.
this, like kind of like English script, like kind of cool, like Gothic script on the back, and it's embroidered and it says skillet queso.
Kind of a fear of God vibe to it. It's pretty cool.
It does have a fear of God vibe. Like it has like the script. I could see. I'll say this. I could see what they were going for.
Yeah, they did a whole limited edition line that was basically aimed at the whole streetwear kind of vibe.
Wow.
Where like they all sold out, and I think the jacket was like $100 or something like that if you bought it.
Yeah, and they sent it to him for free.
Yeah.
It's crazy, Bill.
Yeah,
they're like,
that's
what's
awesome.
What fan among us is the biggest hype beast out there? Oh, that's easy. Chandler Strike. That's Chandler.
right.
We have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talked to author Margaret Feinberg.
I love Margaret.
She's so smart. Yeah.
She has a new book coming out. Jesse, give us a little preview of the piece.
Yeah. It just came out. So the book is called Taste and See. And like coming into this interview, as you guys know me, like I am not known for like my highbrow choices in food. I was called out on this very podcast weeks ago for drinking Food Lion brand seltzer water in a can.
And I'll do it again. If you bring that junk around, we'll do it again.
After that, I enjoyed this interview of Margaret so much because she wanted to dig into like why food is such a huge metaphor throughout the Bible. And not only like this is like an all in book. Like she went to salt mines like in the Holy Land. Like she prepared bread like they prepared bread in Bible times to understand. Like she was telling me like the social implications of unleavened bread that are used at communion. Like and like the spiritual meaning behind food. This was one of my favorite interviews I've done in a long time because I was so surprised at how like she could make me so interested in something I didn't really realize I was interested in. I can't wait for people to hear it.
That is like a Margaret Feinberg skill. She is so good at being a storyteller that makes you want to know more. I just adore her. And that book is awesome.
You know what was particularly shaming though? I swear this is true. That I had just eaten Taco Bell before doing that interview.
Let me ask you this, Jesse. Jesse, has it changed? Has it impacted your eating habits in any way?
Okay, this is real talk too. Tyler knows this. I'm not making this up because I told him this minutes ago.
Yeah,
minutes ago. We're recording at 2 p.m. I came back from lunch. Andy, guess what I had for lunch today? This is how much Margaret Feinberg's interview has impacted my life.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say like a salad. No, I don't know. I was
You
going
went
to
to
say Taco
Whole
Bell.
Foods
Cameron, what do you
and
think?
got something from the Whole Foods salad bar.
Handmade bread.
I went to a gastropub down the street and got a beet salad. A beet salad.
gosh.
Who am I?
Can you
Who am I?
Did you put protein on that?
No protein. I got a bowl of chili on the side.
Well,
I know.
small steps, incremental change.
All right.
Beet
All right.
salad.
He had a bowl of chili. I mean, it's not exactly like high cuisine here.
With a beet
salads are
salad,
great.
Cameron, that
beet
is
salad is pretty
complex.
impressive.
And also-
that is complex in textures, in
100%.
colors, and aromas.
Yep.
These beets. I don't even know that I had a beet before today. It's very earthy. It kind of
It's
tastes like
good,
you're eating
right?
dirt. It's like
Did you have red ones or yellow ones, Jesse?
it's
Kind of
like,
a dirt taste.
there was both, and they both tasted like I put just a handful of dirt in my mouth. I will say this: recently tilled dirt, but definitely like just a mouthful of dirt. But I'm trying to open up the palate a little here. You know.
Yeah, they aren't supposed to taste just like dirt. Something needed to be on them, maybe. I don't know. They're great.
Jesse,
They
I
aren't
thought
really
of you.
dirt tasting.
They just announced that on the block next to the office, they're opening a high-end Taco Bell called the Taco
What
Bell
does that mean?
Cantina. Taco Bell Cantina.
my
Cantina.
gosh.
Yeah, it's got
You
a
guys,
full.
let's
It's
go
got
there.
it's got like craft beer and wine and a full bar and like like menu items that aren't in normal Taco Bells, but it's also a Taco Bell. It's called Taco Bell Cantina, and there's like 5 of them, like around the country.
Oh my gosh, that
That's
makes me
that's
so
like a
happy.
date night. That's like date night. You know?
Date night,
Listen, I
Taco
won't even
Bell.
pretend like I don't love a Taco Bell. That place is so good. So a fancy version is my dream come true.
Yeah. I mean, right now in the fancy fast food hierarchy, you know, I'm not talking casual dining. I'm talking stuff that has drive-throughs. Okay. Right. You're up, you got Chick-fil-A and your Arby's. And, you know, then it starts trickling down. Now that cantinas are in play, we might not.
Hold on.
Market
you would
fresh
put
sandwiches.
Arby's
Market
before Taco Bell?
fresh sandwiches. It's bistro. Have you been to Arby's lately, Annie? If not,
because it's just
then don't question
meat.
me.
It's just gross, slimy piles of meat.
Jesse, we also have a McDonald's that's not a McDonald's. It's called McD's. And they have like a pizza kitchen, and they have like an ice cream bar, and they have like full entrees and stuff like that, as well as McDonald's. It's like, it's called McD's.
None of this abides by the spirit of what, like these places have very specific times and circumstances that lead me to go into McDonald's or Taco Bell, and I don't want to mess around with it. Like, I'm too old. I know where these things. Don't do that. I know what space these places occupy in my life. No. I don't want you to stay in your lane, man. I know when I want to go to a cantina, I've got my spots already. I don't need Taco Bell complicating the narrative.
I don't want a burrito without a paper wrapped around it from Taco Bell. Is what I'm saying.
No. I got to take here. We've gotten this generation has gotten way too spoiled with all the dining options. Back in the day, like when I was growing up and my family wanted to take me out to dinner, guess what? It was one of two places.
Where?
Chi-Chi's for a really nice meal. Okay. Chi-Chi's was number one. Okay. Number two was like a Pizza Hut that served soda in those red, transparent, translucent plastic cups.
I love that Pizza Hut.
That had a buffet. Mm-hmm. That was number two. If it's dining out, you're going to a nice Pizza Hut, or you're going to a Chi-Chi's. Both of those are almost things of the past.
I don't know Chi-Chi's. Is that a chain, or is that
a Mexican
West
chain.
Virginia local?
Yeah, like a mid-level.
It's like a Don Pablo's or a Mexican chain.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
A typical Mexican chain.
Cameron, you remember Chi-Chi's, right?
Oh yeah, of course we had Chi-Chi's.
So a cantina of sorts.
It's a sort of Mexican restaurant where everything comes out, and it's like a chimichanga or an enchilada or whatever. It all looks the same. It's
on the border. And the portions are probably massive.
It's lower.
You get chips and salsa. They give you you get chips and salsa. One of those situations.
And I'll say this: if you're within a month of your birthday, you're getting a sombrero, and they're coming out singing. It's one of those type of joints. They look for excuses.
Chi-Chi's.
Yeah,
guys. I think I've talked about on here. I grew up in a very small town in rural Nebraska, out in the middle of nowhere. It was a farm town. And growing up, we had a Pizza Hut, and there was a local like mom and pop's place. Those are the dining out options until one day when they announced that McDonald's is coming to town, and they had, I kid you not, a McDonald's parade down Main Street led by Ronald twirling a baton, and there were dancers and there was a band. They had the high school marching band out there bringing them to town, and it ended with a big magic show done by Ronald McDonald himself doing tricks before he opened McDonald's for all of us. It was the greatest day of my life.
It was simpler times. I'll say this.
That's a spectacle.
Coke has never tasted better than in those red, translucent plastic cups. For some reason, one of those, ice and a Coke, they just taste better out of that cup. I don't know what it is, but all those okay, speaking of wedding registry, if I could do it all over again, I would just have nothing but those red plastic cups because everyone loved them. Everyone would come over and be like, dude, these are just like I drank at Pizza Hut growing up. I'd be like, I know. I got a whole cabinet full. I didn't register for them. I asked people to send me cash, and I bought them online. That's how this
Jesse,
works.
I have some Chi-Chi's news for you. I hope you're sitting down. Chi-Chi's is a Mexican restaurant chain operating in Belgium, Luxembourg, Austria, the United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait. The chain once operated in the United States and Canada, but exited in 2004.
Yeah, the health department.
We literally cannot eat there.
The health department just
if you
shut
go to
them down.
Luxembourg, the graveyards are littered with strangs. That's where strangs are from. Is Luxembourg.
Hey, you know why I know that?
The Great Strang Massacre.
I read your dad's book.
It's in your book.
It's in the book.
Chandler's been there. Chandler, haven't you?
No, I've been to France.
Oh, you've been to France to look at the graveyards.
We visit graveyards in France.
Littered with strings. Make it sound like you guys were like you guys were vampires and a slayer got over here.
My dad travels internationally for business and will add days to visit the cemeteries to look for his ancestors.
Yeah.
That's a dad thing. That's a very dad move. Like dads love going to visit the old the tombstones of people they've never met.
The way you said it, though, these graveyards just littered with strings. It's like there was a big family reunion of strings in the 1800s, and on the way there was a ferry accident or something, and they just all washed ashore, and now it's a graveyard. It's pretty morbid, but that's for some reason that's where my mind went when you said a graveyard littered with strings. Like they just haphazardly, like, well, I guess
they just all died there.
Yeah, we're just the tide just washed them up. It's sad about that family reunion, but here they lie.
They had a string designated survivor, fortunately. Otherwise, Cameron wouldn't be here right now to tell us about it.
Yeah. They didn't send that one guy to the family reunion. Yeah, he was.
All right, well, moving the show along. If you listened to Tuesday's show, it was a big day for the Relevant Podcast. We went live. Afterwards, it went well. Thousands of you joined us on the live stream on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to keep doing it every Tuesday. So if you missed Tuesday's show, you can watch it on demand on Facebook and on the Relevant YouTube channel. But make sure to set a little reminder for this Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and you can join us or you can watch us record an audio podcast. That's the big sales pitch here. But in this kind of shift, we have some new ideas, some enhancements, some things we're going to be doing to the video experience as we keep going. We're also evolving the Friday show just a little bit. So for the first time ever, it's the big debut. It's time for
the Hot List.
The Hot List. In case you missed it, it's dead. It's now the Hot List. If you read Relevant Magazine,
string in Luxembourg, it's just totally dead.
It's like a string on that ferry on that fateful family reunion afternoon.
That famous saying we all use.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so
better than a ferry bound string. That's what they say.
The Hot List is counting down the top 5 stories of the week. Here it is, number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. I don't know if you saw it, but Gungor is officially ending Gungor so they can pursue something new. In a blog post this week, Michael Gungor, one of the lead singers and songwriters of the self-described liturgical post-rock musical collective, announced that the band is ending. He wrote, "We love where we've come from. We love the journey, but strangely enough, we feel like that journey is over. Gungor feels like it's done what it needed to do, said what it needed to say, and now it's time for something new. Of course, this doesn't mean that we're going to stop making music. Music is a part of who we are, and like I mentioned, we already have a bunch of stuff recorded that we're trying to figure out what to do with, brand and marketing-wise. But as for Gungor, we simply don't feel the need to keep trying to write new stories on the same old paper." He also admitted that many fans have been frustrated by the direction of the band and the lyrical themes of recent albums. He said, "For the last 4 albums, we've sometimes left many of our fans confused or frustrated. What are they singing about now? Do they even believe in Jesus anymore, etc.? But we've always tried to stay true to what's happening in our hearts at the time of recording a record." They're soon kicking off their End of the World farewell tour. Here's a clip of Gungor in 2010 performing Beautiful Things in the Relevant studio. They were one of the first artists that we recorded live as part of this podcast, and they have come back 3 or 4 times over the years. So they've been
that song
a big
holds
part
up
of,
like gangbusters. It's still a really pretty song.
I listen, we did kind of a little retrospective thing on the site this week about this, and I watched that performance. They're so just naturally great musicians. Yes, it's an incredible song, but both of the Michael and Lisa are prodigies when it comes to the mastery of their instruments, and that is. I will be interested to see the direction they're going, especially because, as Michael particularly has made very clear, his theology and his thoughts on the whole idea of worship has changed very dramatically since Gungor was Gungor.
When I was in college at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma, his dad, Ed Gungor, launched a church that pretty much all the students went to. It was amazing. It was one of these exploding churches. And high school student Michael Gungor was the worship leader.
Yeah.
And I just remember being blown away by him back then. You know,
Yeah, I was lived on the same floor at one point as his brother Rob Gungor, and he was a prodigy. He plays piano. He doesn't play with the band, but the whole family is just incredibly gifted.
It's amazing.
There's been some, I know there's been some sort of like, I guess I'd call them hurt feelings about what's kind of been perceived as like an ambiguous spirituality on the part of Michael and Lisa, even though I feel like they've both been pretty explicit throughout what has definitely been you have to kind of keep up because they've charted their journey. They've both been very open about it, both with us and with some other profiles that I've seen around. And I understand why people would feel a little bit hurt by that, but I think it's extremely rare to be as candid and transparent as they have been about their changing philosophy and theology. And I think I would much prefer that to sort of this guessing game, or sometimes straight up deception where people continue to try to make money and sing about things they don't actually believe in anymore.
That to me is the bigger thing. I mean, and Annie, no disrespect to Nashville industry, I know you're friends with a lot of people, but I know of a lot of notable Christian artists that live kind of double lives. They have the public Christian persona and then their real lifestyle. And
to be fair, not all of them live in the same city.
Of course.
That can be true. That is true across that industry. That does not have to do with zip codes necessarily.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that whole thing of like, I'm a professional Christian, you know, like, and an entertainer, not even a pastor, you know, is, very difficult.
And to be fair, we are all for professional Christians.
Sure.
So, I mean, if you want to knock the group, you're talking about us too, because we make a living off the same thing. It just looks different.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not
I don't think
knocking
we're
anything.
knocking professional Christians.
No. I was just saying it's like it's a tough thing to walk out an evolving belief system or anything when your income is tied to a certain, theology and whatever. And I was just affirming what Tyler was saying, that it's
I mean, that's got to be
risky.
true for y'all with magazines. Like it's true for me with books, where there's like, I may have a book that I released in 2012. I might say some things differently now than I did then.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
So it is, and I'm sure it's true with the magazine too. Yeah,
but the benefit of this platform is, you're allowed to be revisionist, right? Like, we put out a new product all the time, and we're not revisiting old. Where like, if I'm a worship leader, a hit song that I wrote 5 years ago, people are still going to want to hear me sing.
Yeah,
and if I still believe
Jars
that,
of Clay
and
with Flood. I mean, it's like they're playing that as an encore for the rest of their lives.
But I mean, but it gets problematic when like because like if I said something on this podcast 10 years ago that I no longer believe, I'm not up here parodying it.
We have. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean,
a number of times, but again, I'm not up here having to repeat it every single week. Where if you're an artist and you have a song that you're like, well, I don't really believe this song anymore, and you're still performing it, that does create, especially in like worship. It's not just like a lot of them see what they do is not just performing music, Yeah. And I mean, we running a story in an upcoming issue of the magazine where two worship leaders question whether they believe what they're singing anymore. And it led to, a whole new type of album they ended up putting out. But I don't think it's an uncommon thing, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong as long as they're willing to be transparent about the evolution of their belief and not just try to monetize old beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like when you're living insincerely. I was out with a Christian artist friend who was in town a month ago, and he's kind of walking away from that part of his career and doing other things. And it really was because his beliefs, like he couldn't do it anymore. He didn't fit the mold anymore. And he was asking me, he's like, you're kind of phoning it in with Relevant, right? I mean, like you've evolved a lot in the last decade. And I'm like, Relevant's evolved in the last decade, dude. Yeah. I was like, it's that thing of like, you're always creating, you always have a blank page. You're always creating something new. And, if we're not progressing, if we're not evolving, if there's not a journey, then what's the point, But it is incredibly limiting when there's a kind of a very firm kind of Christian radio or, an expectation that an industry has. And if you veer outside of it, you have no place, and so it's a big risk what Gungor and some of these other artists are doing, but I respect it.
Part of the evolution of Gungor started when he openly discussed, possibly not believing in a literal interpretation of Genesis, and churches started canceling their appearances. And that kind of, they've been open about that. That was kind of, to some degree, a start of this whole journey.
Andy, do you think, because I feel like we make a magazine, the magazine is out the door, and 2 months we got another one coming out, and there's not a whole lot of people who are combing through past issues saying, well, this doesn't line up with what you said back in 2006 or whatever. Do you feel like that would be more of a risk for you because you have actual books that are on shelf? People can and could do that.
Yeah, I think it would probably more happen with things that I do on stages that are videoed, because many people so many people have their hands on a book and so many people do the editing, and my books aren't like theology. I mean, there's theology in them, but they're not like teaching new theology, And so I wouldn't have as much as a concern, though there are still things I would write differently. I would tell stories differently in some of my first books than I would tell them now. But sometimes I think more like, I've grown in my teaching and I've grown in my thoughts on some things. And I probably wouldn't teach that scripture in connection with that story again. But what can you do about that? You do the best you can. As long as every day, I mean, and this is true for all people who teach and for you guys with what you make too. But, all I can do today is do the best I can to be as near to the Lord as possible and teach what I feel like I'm learning when I am studying scripture alone and in community. And I hope that grows and changes over the years. But yeah, that's probably more scary to me, Huck, than books.
Yeah, I think that's, I think we kind of alluded to this, but you should. Like, if you have the exact same spiritual beliefs and position that you did 10 years ago, well, that's not a spiritual journey. That's a spiritual sitting in place. And that's not necessarily a sign of a lot of growth and development.
I will say to you, tell me if you agree with this or disagree with this, but when you're saying you may not have the same spiritual beliefs, I actually think you can have the same beliefs for your whole spiritual journey. You just have more knowledge the more you grow. You can have most of your beliefs stay the same. An example being Jesus is the Son of God. That's a belief that is not going to change. Your understanding of Jesus can grow and change.
Well, I think there's a difference between like what I would call core beliefs, or maybe like the theological term would be like salvific beliefs, and more like not auxiliary, because I understand that it's all that in a systematic theology, it's all kind of connected. But I think that there are certain core things that'll definitely stick and stay very true. And that you should like clamp down on those things. And then some things that you should be willing to hold in a looser palm because they could change and evolve over time.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's who I hope I am. I hope I am strong on the things that are core beliefs that cannot move. And I hope that I learn and grow in every area as a teacher.
I guess it's the challenge comes when it like when the idea of what's a core belief and what's sort of, an ancillary belief for some people, that's that line is very different. Like, I mean, if someone, develops a different belief about the afterlife, right? Then it's like, that's where you see, people tossing around, these terms that are, there's no coming back from after you're labeled like a heretic or like a pariah or something, just if you're kind of asking questions as part of the evolution, that's where it kind of gets,
Yeah. And I think you're right. Leading a worship song that you don't feel theologically connected to anymore. I can't imagine how hard that would be. That sounds really painful.
Number 4.
Hey, number 4, 2019's batch of emojis that are coming out this year contains new prayer options. The Unicode Consortium has revealed several dozen new emojis that they will make available this year. And along with people in wheelchairs, ears, a yawning face, very good, waffles, and a handful of others, several versions of people kneeling in prayer will become available. Although there aren't a ton of overtly religious emojis, hands meeting in prayer and praise hands have previously been made available. Although I have heard it said that the praying hands one is 2 people high-fiving, Jesse.
I've heard that disputed. I read a take online this past week that was like, no, this is praying. That's what I read a take. I
Can't
don't
you
know.
just make it read it to you? Doesn't it say it?
Yeah, I can't. I honestly, I was doing so much research on because we were doing a write-up about this, about the Unicode Consortium, but I came across the prayer thing, and I can't remember if it was someone from there or not, but it seems to be, from what I understand, the consensus that it is praying hands. But who knows? I guess emojis are left to some interpretation. But the Unicode Consortium is a very interesting and weird group. Like, they decide, it's a nonprofit. And the reason why they have so much power is because the emojis that they use have to work on devices for like every brand, and they have to be emojis that translate in every culture. Like these aren't just like, this is what the new emojis for your iPhone are. These are the new emojis for everything. Yeah. And so it's actually extremely complicated, and they're infamously picky with the new ones that they release. That's kind of why the prayer ones are so significant, because it's not like they just, these aren't done at random. Like, surprisingly, there's a lot of thought that goes into these.
What emoji doesn't exist that y'all wish you had?
Oh, I'd have to think about it. I was glad to see that they're launching one with like the small hand, like two fingers showing that something is little, because I've wanted that in the past.
For such a long time, I wanted the smiley face with dollar signs for eyes. I wanted that one for so long because I think that's so funny. And I was so happy when we got it.
Me, over the years, I wanted an eye roll, and then they came out with an eye roll, so I'm happy. I'm good.
The eye roll is happy. The eye roll is handy.
I could see the yawn coming into play.
I think the yawn will be popular. Yeah,
I'm just going to use the sloth anytime I wish I could use the yawn.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, see you guys later, sloth.
Yeah. Well, what, Annie, now if I get a bad slice link, it'll just be yawn. And I'm feeling
for sure.
Hey, Pete Factory News. My reply, just yawn.
Did you see how excited I got? I thought you had Pete Factory News.
I was setting up my yawn emoji joke.
That's awful. I got so excited. I was like, yes, Jesse, what do you have?
The only emoji that I can think of is tears of joy, like smiling but crying at the same time.
But it not be laughing.
You kind of have the laughing.
No, not laughing.
Yeah, but everybody knows you're laughing.
Thing. It's totally different.
Like tears coming down, like a glow of complete contentment and unbelievable joy.
Chandler, that's so tender.
It is very tender.
Sweet.
I still have to do the emoticon, like the colon, apostrophe.
Yeah. It's weird. That doesn't.
Parentheses.
Maybe that's. Yeah. Maybe that's not in every culture. Maybe that's not doesn't.
Maybe people aren't happy in Botswana. I mean, I don't know.
But you don't want that to be left to interpretation. It's like when old people think LOL means lots of love, and they're like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, Grandma died." LOL, and it's like, why are you texting me this? You don't want there to be, is this happy or sad?
Yeah, that's true.
Number 3.
Zaxby's went after Chick-fil-A for closing on Sundays in a Super Bowl ad. I don't know if you saw this. As Chick-fil-A explains on their website, our founder, Truett Cathy, made the decision to close on Sundays in 1946 when he opened his first restaurant in Hapeville, Georgia. Having worked 7 days a week in restaurants open 24 hours, Truett saw the importance of closing on Sundays so that he and his employees could set aside one day to rest and worship if they choose, a practice we uphold today. They even have a section on their website dedicated to explaining the vision of closing on Sundays. However, another fried chicken chain, Zaxby's, decided to make fun of the practice in a new ad. The commercial doesn't say anything about being a superior product, just that they're open on Sundays. Unsurprisingly, the ad has faced some blowback on Twitter.
I was shocked at how just dumb the ad is. Like it's Jeff Saturday, the football and another old football player that nobody knows, like Tim, Frankie Monday, going to they're walking into a restaurant talking how much they want chicken, and they're trying to open the door. They believe it's closed, and they're actually pushing instead of pulling. It's a lame joke. And then the whole selling point is, hey, when are we going to meet here again? And he's like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He's like, I know, on Sunday. It's just conceding. Eat Chick-fil-A every other day of the week because they're a lot better than Zaxby's.
Because they start in Chick-fil-A the number 5 franchise in the world or something.
Like I said,
they're really high of maybe fast food. I should get actual stat.
In boutique fast food, they're right there with Arby's and now Cantina.
I just think it's amazing they can do in 6 days what everybody else is wishing they could do in 7.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. Actor and activist Ashton Kutcher shared a pro-life video this week that's gone viral. In the clip, Special Olympian and actor Frank Stevens, who has Down syndrome, speaks in front of Congress in 2017. Though the video isn't explicitly against abortion, it does have a powerfully pro-life message. Part of Stevens' speech is a warning against the motivations behind some types of prenatal screening. Kutcher captioned the video, "Everyone's life is valuable." It's been viewed nearly 18 million times. Here's a clip.
Across the world, a notion is being sold that maybe we don't need research concerning Down syndrome. Some people say prenatal screens will identify Down syndrome in the womb, and those pregnancies will just be terminated. It's hard for me to sit here and say those words. I completely understand that the people pushing this particular final solution are saying that people like me should not exist. That view is deeply prejudiced by an outdated idea of life with Down syndrome.
Ashton Kutcher famously is, I saw a picture with him and Shelley and Louis Giglio on Capitol Hill with the End It movement. He's famously an activist and pro-life and fighting for life and human dignity causes. It's pretty awesome.
I think he's become almost more famous now for being an activist and just kind of an interesting tech innovator, somebody who knows how to use tech for humanitarian causes than he ever was as an actor. He was always kind of a second-rate actor, and now he's become actually a very, very inspiring case of...
How dare you?
I love that 70s show. I love that. I'll always love that 70s show.
So you put him in
Dude, where's my car? Hello.
Yeah. So you're putting him in the hierarchy. If actors were fast food restaurant, he's like a Captain D's or Long John Silver. It's like the weird seafood one.
He's kind of a Zaxby's in my mind, but
But as an activist, I think he's more like a Chick-fil-A.
Because he has his organization Thorn is actually developing technology, because like you said, Tyler or Annie, I can't remember which one, about his interest in developing new technology, and his company Thorn actually utilizes proprietary software to identify content on the internet that may help lead authorities to rescue children from human trafficking. And he's doing a lot in that space. Like Cameron said, he even did some work with the Giglios last year.
Number 1.
And coming in at number 1 on the hot list this week, a guy used a CPR trick from a classic Office episode to actually save someone's life. A tire center employee named Cross Scott, no relation to Michael, was taking one of his customers' cars for a test ride when he saw a sedan pulled over with its hazards flashing. He pulled over to see what the issue was and saw a woman who appeared to be unconscious behind the wheel. Oh, wow. He used a rock to break the window open and told 2 passersby to call 911. He found that the woman had no pulse. He explained to the Arizona Daily Star, "I've never prepared myself for CPR in my life. I had no idea what I was doing." However, he's a big fan of The Office and remembered the classic scene in which the gang is forced to undergo first aid training. He remembered the instructor's direction for Michael to pump the chest of the test dummy to the beat of the song Staying Alive. Though medics wouldn't release details of what caused the incident, they did confirm that Scott saved the woman's life. Here's a clip of the classic scene. Remember, listening to it might just save a life.
Okay, too fast. Everyone, we need to pump at a pace of 100 beats per minute.
Oh, okay. That's hard to keep track. How many is that per hour?
How's that going to help you?
I will divide and then count to it.
Right.
Okay, well, a good trick is to pump to the tune of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Do you know that song?
Yes, I do. I love that song. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
No, it's Staying Staying Alive.
Okay.
I think that's my favorite Office scene of all time.
No way!
I think that's my number one favorite.
That's your
Office
favorite
scene.
of all time.
I think so. I love that scene. Is just like laugh after laugh after laugh. It just piles on top of each other.
I will say this, and as people heard from that clip, it's a 3, like we're not playing the 3 minutes, but the actual scene itself in a like joke, packing in good jokes in a 3-minute span. It doesn't get any better. And every character has a tiny moment. Like, here's the great thing about that scene. If you go back and watch it, every moment has a character to shine. Like, Creed has a weird line in it. Kevin has a good line in it. Mindy Kaling is like dancing it. Yeah. Kelly has a good line. Yeah. Dwight cuts the face off the dummy and wears it. And then, what's his name at corporate? How can I forget?
David.
David has a great scene. Every character has a great moment to shine. 3 minutes in terms of joke density. It may be the best
joke
3 minutes.
Density.
It may be the best scene in the series.
That's a listicle you should make someday, Jesse. Is like best episodes of shows based on joke density.
Yeah, there's a couple early Simpsons that I'd put in there. Like when Conan was writing, every joke, there was no setup. It was all punchlines.
Feels like a ringer piece.
Yeah,
where they
it feels like a ringer
chart it
piece.
out to.
Yeah.
I've thought about this. I think that the show with the highest joke density, that no line goes to waste. There are 2 that come to mind: 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
And
I was going to
Arrested
say
Development.
For sure.
I was going to say 30 Rock.
That's good. Yeah, I think you're right.
But like every
I might
line,
throw Veep in. I might throw Veep in and at the tail end. Like
Arrested
bring up the rear.
Development, there are episodes that I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't catch up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I love about
agree.
30 Rock is like you almost can't laugh out loud because you'll miss something. Like you have to just like quietly suppress your laughing.
That's
like,
a little bit true
up.
about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt too, right? I mean, there were moments of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt where if you laugh, you're going to miss the
Titus
next thing.
Andromedon's lines are stunningly good. He's one of the best sitcom characters in history in my mind.
there are so many good throwaway lines in 30. Like I was watching 30 Rock, some old episodes on a plane the other day, and it was like from season 2 or something. And I had seen these episodes, but you lose. Like there was a scene where it was like Jerry Seinfeld was like the guest star, and like Jerry, what's Alec Baldwin's character's name? It doesn't matter.
Donaghy.
Jack Donaghy is trying to convince Jerry to do him a favor. And he's like, I saved your life from a shark in the Caribbean. And, and like, as Jerry's about to leave, he goes, I'll do it, but I still think you shot a dolphin that day. And it was just like such a great, like, throwaway line that the scene could have totally existed without it, but it was such a good joke, and every scene is packed with jokes like that, it was like
Arrested Development. That's how I feel about Lucille and the loose seal.
Yeah.
You're just like, that's just hilarious. That doesn't matter at all. That's just a very good use of a pun.
Or like it was like that one of the episodes where Tracy Morgan like references like he's like cleaning out his office and he's like, no, that's the Grammy I won for my novelty bar mitzvah werewolf song. And they cut away to a music video and he's like, men will become boys. Boys will become men. Men will become wolves. And it's like, it's in like a bar mitzvah. It was so good that the dedication to the joke is so fantastic in every episode.
I'll never begrudge a show doing too much. Like they didn't need to make a whole music video for the werewolf bar mitzvah joke.
That's right.
Man, they did. They wrote a whole entire song about it. You can buy it. It's on Spotify.
Yeah, and do you know even though like only about 2 seconds of it shows up in that episode, do you know a fun fact, a trivia fact is it's not Tracy Morgan singing in it. It's Donald Glover, who was on the writing staff of 30 Rock at the time. Childish Gambino.
How he got his start.
He was doing a vocal impression of Tracy Morgan singing that song. That's a little trivia.
I did not know that.
There you go.
Jesse, you are just a wealth of something.
Useless knowledge.
And that's why this is the number one. That's why this is the number one on the list of the week. Look at all we got out of that. That's a ton of material.
I'm just saying, what other profession, Annie, would this serve me in any possible way?
I know. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful.
All right, that'll do it for the debut of the Hot List.
The Hot List.
Stay tuned. Up next, Margaret Feinberg joins us.
'Cause I've looked within and I've read, but instead I keep focusing on just something even though I know that it's not there. And every time I try to figure it out, you're the only thing I can think about.
You're listening to The Japanese House. The song is Maybe You're the Reason. Probably are. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Coin with I Want It All. Well, today's show is brought to you by Blinkist. Being able to practice mindfulness every day is something we all want to achieve, and sometimes it can be really hard when we're overwhelmed with work or other aspects of life. There's an app I highly recommend which might help you be more mindful every day. It's called Blinkist. It's the only app that takes the best key takeaways, the need-to-know information from thousands of nonfiction books, and condenses them down to just 15 minutes so you can read or listen to them. Blinkist is made for busy people like you who want to get the main points of books quickly without reading the entire book. With an audio feature, Blinkist makes it so easy to finish 4 books a day while you're on the go. 8 million people are using Blinkist right now. It has a massive and growing library from self-help to business to health and history books, and a lot more. Go check it out. I am a Blinkist customer, and I just last week did The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, one of the books I've been wanting to read for a long time, never did. Did it with Blinkist. You can easily listen in the car. You can get great recommendations on what to read next. Right now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special offer just for Relevant Podcast listeners. Go to Blinkist.com/relevant to start your 7-day free trial. That's BLINKIST.com/relevant to start your free 7-day trial. Blinkist.com/relevant. Margaret Feinberg is a popular speaker, Bible teacher, and writer. Her new book, Taste and See, Discovering God Among Butchers, Bakers, and Fresh Food Makers. She travels the world, visiting salt mines in the Holy Land, baking bread from ancient ingredients, going to a Croatian olive harvest, meeting Texas's meat apostle, and more. All to figure out why God seems to want us to understand food in a different way. We recently spoke with Margaret about her journey and why re-understanding food is actually a spiritual issue. Here is Margaret Feinberg.
What gave you the idea for the concept? Because it's interesting because it makes the case that God is kind of a foodie.
It does. It does. You know, if you start looking at food in the Bible, which I don't know about you, but like I'm already thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch and dinner tomorrow. So I love food. But if you start looking, it's like it pops and it sizzles on every page. It just comes alive in this profound way. And you start to see food at really pivotal moments. And so a foodie is simply someone who takes a particular interest in food. And if you start to look at Genesis, I mean, that creation story, it's really laid out like a heavenly Zagat-rated buffet. And Adam and Eve are there, and they're just invited to nosh on everything that is good and delicious. And there's just one food that is off limits. And the original couple, of course, take a bite of that in temptation. And I think there's a side of me that think, well, maybe God would make food this dark thing, this thing that we should stay away from, this thing we have to be really careful about. Instead, it's almost as if God redeems food just as he does us. I mean, there are so many miracles that involve food, whether it's the manna that's flavored with honey and oil. By the way, how sweet of that was God? Like, not just to make manna, not just to feed his people, but I'm going to make it sweet for you to remind you of my sweetness and how much favor I'm showing you in this. We think of the widow and her overflowing oil. We think of the promised land as this, it's literally a buffet, and the marquee descriptor is the food. Yeah. And then when Jesus arrived, he's constantly identifying himself as, with sheep and vines and living water and the bread of life. And he says, when he comes back, we are going to have the biggest, baddest banquet of all time. And that just whets our appetite to say, okay, God, who are you? Give me a fresh appetite. Give me fresh lenses to encounter you, to experience you, to live you and interact with you, even around the table with friends and family and people coming over.
Well, I think one of the metaphors that most Christians, even if they haven't read much of the Bible, are probably familiar with is communion, the sacraments. And, I grew up very evangelical, where it was basically like a saltine and grape juice. And, but when I think about the Bible, it's probably like that was probably like the best bread and the best wine ever. I mean, Jesus hand selected it. Do you think even with something like the sacraments, do you think modern Christians are missing something without putting kind of the time and care into the food that the Bible, the kind of implication is there that the Bible would suggest?
Yeah, I think that there is such richness, and part of the reason that I wrote the Taste and See book and Bible study is the sense of getting to know these elements on a granular level. I mean, let's just be honest. Most of the juice that is served, it leaves that kind of like icky taste in the back of your throat. We pass around those, sometimes little flat pre-processed crackers, and to remember that back in the time of Christ, that this was unleavened bread, that they were serving during the Passover, and that bread was not white flour. White flour was reserved for the wealthy. That's actually been a social marker throughout all of history. And I'm sorry if I'm totally like history Bible nerding out on here.
It's super interesting.
I'm so pumped on this. Yeah. So most likely, for instance, when the Egyptians left, or the Israelis left Egypt, they were using, and they had their bread that was unleavened that they rushed out with because they didn't have time to wait for it to rise. It was likely a barley and an emmer flour. Why is that significant? Because barley and emmer were it was the flour of the poor, and the reason was it was easier to grow, it was more drought resistant, and it would produce a higher yield. Whereas white flour was difficult, it was prone to drought, it was prone to pestilence, it was prone to disease, and so you have this population eating this darker flour, and so that becomes significant. For example, when Jesus could have taken any bread when he was feeding the 5,000, and instead he takes the loaf of the boy and it's barley bread. And so he's aligning with the poor. He's even in word and deed the very bread of life, who was born in Bethlehem, meaning house of bread, takes the bread of the poor and in essence says, I am with you. I didn't come for just the rich and those who have it all together. I came for all of humanity. So when we sit down at the table of the Passover, we sit down again with the unleavened bread, just commemorating what the Egyptians had done all those years before. Likely what Jesus was eating was a darker flour bread. And when you start to understand that bread, in ancient times, it's not like today. It wasn't pre-sliced. It wasn't, mass produced, but these were families who were going out. And with each seed, they were dropping in the ground. They were praying over it, that the fruitfulness and the life that God would provide. They prayed for that land, that the rains would come. They went out, the entire family. This was not just a solo person who did this, who went and tended those crops, who pulled the weeds, who harvested it once it was time, then winnowed it, crushed it, created the dough. And so when that boy offered that bread, when Jesus ate that bread at the communion table, it was not done in isolation. It was an act of a family who had created that bread. And I think that starts to shift even just a little bit. And there's so much more when we come to the communion table and we realize that this is not just about me. This is not an individual act. What I am partaking of is not an individual gift. It is a confession of solidarity with the poor. It is a confession of the fact that I am not my own. I live in community. I need others. And it starts to, that's just a little pinch, but it starts to really deepen the way that we approach the table.
Along with kind of the health issues associated with not really paying attention to food sources and kind of the community aspect, what do you think, especially within the church, that for, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like a lot of churches that don't completely ignore the idea of food and the role that it plays in the Bible, but it's certainly not an emphasis in a lot of churches. What do you think the spiritual toll is that can take on Christian communities?
Oh, it can take an enormous toll. That's such a great question. Well, first of all, I'm amazed at the number of churches who still aren't sensitive, even at communion, of including gluten-free options. And how about gluten-free options that taste good? How about the toll of buying pre-packaged, terrible-tasting little flat something of a cracker when maybe there's people in your church who could get together and would love to bake bread and add some honey in it so it has that sweetness in it, and that they tear off a piece, which is more of a reality than just taking my little isolated piece of cracker and letting it melt on the back of my tongue. I also think there's, the importance of churches really thinking about when you have gatherings, when you have even staff meetings, when you gather people together, what are you providing for people who do have food allergies? Beyond saying, well, there's a salad, I hope you enjoy it. Because there is this thing that when somebody is isolated because they can't eat the food, I have some food allergies, and so I know what it feels. It feels like people look at you like there's something wrong with you. You're just not as invited in when you're not eating and when you're not partaking. And so being sensitive to those things, I think, is really key for church leaders and those who are organizing events related to the church. But I think the importance of gathering around the table, encouraging groups and individuals to share meals. I love the word compassion. In Latin, it means cum panis. It's with bread. And creating those spaces where people are eating together, whether it's a bag of microwave popcorn, whether it is, a quick sandwich from Starbucks, whatever that looks like, to take time to be together, to slow ourselves, and to really, really dive in with each other. I'm so passionate about this. And I think sometimes we go to the table, and I will be honest, it's awkward. We don't feel like we can connect. And so giving people resources that make it more natural. At Margaret Feinberg /Taste and See, I actually created, and it's a free giveaway for anybody who purchases the book, but it's memorable meal conversation starters. And it is this downloadable deck of cards that just, when you walk into that place of that meal, you have questions to begin asking, to take the conversation a little bit deeper, to break the ice more naturally, to move beyond the classic questions of where do you work, how many children do you have, where were you born, but to how did you two meet, and really get into some stuff that is a lot more fun and engaging and fresh and can create real connection.
That was Margaret Feinberg. Taste and See is out now. Check it out. You're listening to Jade Bird. The song is Love Has All Been Done Before. Okay, it is time for your feedback. Last week on the Friday show, we asked you, what is your worst Valentine's Day date story? Valentine's Day is coming up this week, and we wanted to know your worst memories. A little public therapy. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also posted the longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
Oh, man. Sarah.
There's so many, dude. So many.
Oh, yeah.
So many painful. So many painful stories.
I like how Sarah prefaced it because this is like a thread. She just kept throwing stories at, but I'm going to read one of Sarah's. But she started with, this is my wheelhouse. And I think it's because I've read through a couple of hers. I think it's because she not only went to a Bible school where there's presumably just a lot of awkward future pastors, but she also worked at a Christian bookstore.
She worked at a Christian bookstore.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that would, the only other awkward place if she worked in the homeschool curriculum business or something. That's the Venn diagram of awkward dating. Okay. So she says that a guy from work, a Christian bookstore, asked me out. He picked me up and had to take me back to his house to meet his parents to get permission to go on the date. Okay, so this individual had to get his parents to approve of the girl before the date even happened, in order for it to. So for some reason, Sarah thought this was somewhat normal, because she approved, and she said she makes a great first impression, especially with parents. Okay, here's where things start to go downhill. Not meeting the parents.
That's pretty downhill for me.
Not meeting the parents. And this will give you a timeline of when this was. They went to go see the film Signs. You guys remember the M. Night Shyamalan alien vehicle. Well, big twist ending there. they're allergic to water. I don't know if you guys, I don't know why they would invade Earth. It's mostly water. Okay. So they went to go see Sign. And as the movie is going, I realize he's really scared. He's like pinching his nose near his eyes to act like he has a headache instead, to try to hide his like literal fear and looking away. It all gets apparent to me that he's really not enjoying this movie at all. I lean over and pretend that I'm really scared and ask him if we could leave before the ending. You missed the twist there. Water saved them, Sarah. I don't know if you ever heard. He casually and reluctantly agrees, and we walk out. He's driving home in the dark, and I playfully say, boy, it'll be scary walking up to my house all by myself. You know, that's a little hint. Hey, she's gone this far. At least walk her to the door, see what happens. And he says, yeah, but you won't have to drive home by yourself. Needless to say, we never went out again.
Oh, gosh. Tiffany said that her worst Valentine's was a group date too. You guys, Taco Bell, a group date to Taco Bell. And the two other girls were on blind dates, but the guy she was out with had just been broken up with, which is awful. Like to be that like third tag along to be with the guy who just got dumped. That's brutal.
Why? I mean, my question is, why is that guy going out on a date if he just is going through a breakup? I mean,
the rebound, man. The rebound.
And then Tiffany also said that's the worst 2 hours of her life. I'm like, y'all sat at Taco Bell for 2 hours?
That's the longest Taco Bell visit in history.
Taco Bell's never seen about somebody longer than 20 minutes.
Dude, that's like my youth group. After a youth group, we go down to Burger King. They'd kick us out because we all just kind of took it over and sat there for 2 hours.
Do you know this is another weird fact that I know, that fast food restaurants have, they have like hard plastic chairs that are always kind of uncomfortable posture wise. Like, you ever notice that? There's no angle to them. They're all hard plastic because they don't want people to get too comfortable. They want to cycle people in and out. That's a true sense.
Makes sense.
True.
Jesse, I just feel like today has been a real gift
Taco
to
Bell
us.
Cantina. They actually have a lot of lounging surfaces.
Yeah, most of the seating is in hot tubs, and you just bring the burrito right out, just float it on over, you know? Okay, I like, I had one here. Oh, this is Jeremiah on Twitter. He said, I once liked a girl whose birthday was on Valentine's Day. So I sent her a birthday a Valentine's / birthday themed box at college as a creative way to tell her I liked her. Yeah, he's thinking this is a great.
I like it. It's creative.
Yeah, this is very thoughtful. Except for one fact. It turns out her birthday wasn't on Valentine's Day. I just mistakenly thought it was.
Now you just look stupid. Was it close? I have so many questions. I want to know how was it like the next day?
I think he just for some reason presumed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
All girls are born on Valentine's Day. Everybody knows that. That's how it happens. I like this one from William. In college, there was a girl I've been interested in for a while. We danced around actually going out. So one night she invites me over to her place to watch Mad Men. I decided this was the night I was going to make my move, picked up a bottle of wine on the way over. We ended up going through a couple of bottles over the course of the evening. All right. Well,
wow. You're really channeling Don Draper there.
For trouble. Yeah. This is the Mad Men era. We were all, there were a lot of bad people making mistakes. Trying to keep
That's what you had on your lunch break.
After we watched a few episodes, we went outside to get some fresh air. We were sitting in the back of her car, and I decided it was my moment. I turned to her, looked into her eyes, and she looked back at mine. I leaned in to kiss her, and that's when it happened. I vomited all over myself, all over her car, and of course, all over her. That's a movie. That's like
that'll teach
awful.
You. That'll teach you from sipping the devil's water there, William. Unbelievable, William. You got what you deserve there.
They
don't show you that side of Don Draper's life on Mad Men, I'm afraid. It's not all.
That's more like season 5 Don Draper, unless season 2, season 3 Don Draper.
Yeah, he's moved on from Volkswagen ads at that point. And I gotta take a little issue with Amanda's here. Okay, because this seems thoughtful. It just seems like an execution. The guy got out a little in front of his skis. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like a good idea. Maybe he was in high school and a guy bought her a fake flower and he put cologne. She says soaked it in his cologne.
That's where soaking.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot, man. I don't know.
Don't buy girls fake flowers, but go ahead.
He said he
I
did
think
this
Andy's
for.
right.
I don't think he should have said this. I think this is why Amanda. He said he did it for his last girlfriend. She loved it.
She loved it.
TMI.
To work for her, to work for you. That's what they
Exactly.
always say.
That's probably why she was so repulsed by it.
Right.
She says it smelled so strong it lived in the garage because I couldn't breathe it in my house. Anyway, she said she ended up marrying her high school sweetheart, not this guy. Why was she even keeping the flower around? Like, just wait till the guy goes and just you trash it if it smells that bad. That seems like, look, the guy was trying to get a little creative. Annie, you don't think that's, do you think that's just a creepy move?
No, a fake flower is always the wrong answer.
Even if it has, like, let's say the guy is like a Stetson man. He has a real distinct musk. Like when he walks in.
If you're going to buy me like a $400 fake fiddle leaf tree, I'll take that. Spray your cologne all over that. Plants. But I don't want your fake rose or your fake lily sprayed with Stetson.
That's a bad move.
I'm not here for that.
Good to know.
Well, you can't.
Andy, you give out some really great dating advice.
I will
on
have
this show.
you know, you can't spray Stetson on a real flower because it will wither and die immediately.
It is like pure poison.
It's basically round. A lot of people use Stetson as Roundup. It is. It's very effective. Very effective.
All right. Well, that'll do it for last week's feedback. Go check it out on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. There's a lot more there. It's very sad. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
So earlier we were talking about Big Wedding and the registry scheme machine. I don't know. What do you call it? What would you call it, Jesse?
I call it big lots. No, it's
Who's
big,
registering at Big Lots? What are you talking about? Nobody's registering at Big Lots.
Listen, Chandler, would you be above registering at Big Lots? I know you can find deals there.
Oh yeah, I love Big Lots.
Chandler's all about Big Lots. Chandler and I have a lot of similarities. Like, I'm like, dude, let's go to Big Lots, man. You never know, dude, what you're going to find.
Never know.
Just walking around Big Lots, you find some things.
There's things. Really He's not wrong.
I would watch like a Amazon Prime show that's basically Chandler doing his own version of American Pickers at Big Lots at where he's going to real shady Big Lots.
Does American Pickers at Big Lots. That's brilliant. I love it so much.
He's like haggling with the workers and like, sir, I don't set the prices.
The haggling is like, no, I don't care.
Honestly, you could walk out with it right now without paying for it, and nobody would stop you. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Anyway, we got talking about that. Got us thinking. What is the weirdest gift you've ever been given? Maybe you registered for something or you hoped for something, and people went rogue. They got you what they wanted to give you instead. Maybe it's for Valentine's Day. Maybe it was for some other gift-giving occasion. But we want to know the weirdest gift you've ever been given. You can tweet us at Relevant Podcast, or you can post the longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
Can I just give, I feel like I got to put a bow on the wedding registry thing real quick.
Oh, boy.
If you are going conventional, you're not asking for cash, listen, shoot your shot, man. Like,
get the good stuff.
Go and register for something that no one's gonna buy you that $1,200 TV. There's no reason for it not to be on your registry. Shoot your shot. Put the big guns on there. You never know. And
on the off chance, like you'll always wonder. You don't want to always wonder what would happen if I just put a marble statue. I don't know.
One of my buddies went through the whole frozen food section and marked a ton of frozen food on his and his wife's registry. Idea. It was awesome.
It's a great idea. That's what I would have gotten for sure.
A lobster tank. I want a lobster tank.
A lobster tank.
How cool
would
would that
restaurants don't have those anymore?
Huh?
Like you're talking about Chi-Chi's in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like high-end seafood, not even high-end, seafood restaurants. Even like Red Lobster had a live lobster tank right in the lobby.
I think they still do.
Yeah, I would think they still do.
It's been a while since I've been to Red Lobster.
I haven't been inside one for a little while.
I think we've evolved. I feel like there's been enough social evolution and values that now it's a little weird to look at a living thing in the eye moments before eating it. That's just gotten a little awkward. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's the one I want to pull away from his family and watch boiled alive and then consume with butter. I feel like people are just more comfortable letting the chef pick it out. I don't know.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. Many thanks to Margaret Feinberg for joining us on today's episode. Her new book, Taste and See, is out now. You can also follow her on Twitter at Ma Feinberg, M-A Feinberg. Thanks also to Blinkist for sponsoring the show and making the episode possible. Remember, you can go to Blinkist.com/relevant to start your free 7-day trial. That's BLINKIST.com/relevant. Hey, we have some big news. I'm bearing it at the very, very end of the show. Big news. On next week, we are debuting a new daily show at Relevant, and we'll talk about it more on the Tuesday podcast. It's called Relevant Daily, and every afternoon we will go live for, 10 or 15 minutes in the afternoon, bring you the day's news, trends, conversation about what's happening. It'll also be an audio podcast, a new audio podcast for us, but it'll also be video streamed every day. Tune in. Follow us on Twitter at Relevant Podcast as well, and we'll make sure that you know all the info for the debut of Relevant Daily coming up next week. It's really exciting. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We will see you live on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
You don't know the half of it.
Boys will become men. Men will become wolves.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.